You're on Spotlight. Hello, I'm Sharon Taylor, founder and the CEO of the Business Vision and Development Center. And today, here on Small Business Spotlight, we have Miss Anita Newson, Emerging Venture Enterprises LLC. Miss Anita, would you reintroduce yourself and give us the name of your business again?
Well, hello everyone in the virtual world, right? We are so adapted now, right? We in this whole new place. So, as Sharon was sharing, I am Anita Newson, and a lot of people know me on social media as Anita and the Biz Coach. And the name of my business is Emerging Venture Enterprises LLC. And basically, what we do, we provide business services, whether that's for a nonprofit or a small business, whether you are starting up, you need just some, different details done to get your things in order. And one of the things we specialize in is grant ready preparedness. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But yes, Miss Sharon has me on here because she was like, wait a minute. My folks need to know about this right here. We got to talk about how to get grant ready. I said,
Look,
come on with it then.
not just the people, Miss Anita. I do too.
I know
So,
that's right.
so
I
what
know that's
prompted
right.
you to launch Emerging Venture? How did you get
Okay.
to that spot in that place?
Well, let's see. Let's do the short version. Let's see if we can come up with the short version. I actually started out doing it. It was initially Emerging Career Network LLC, where we were providing services for career development because that was one of my specialties, where I was working with a grant program with a with college where I lived at, and we taught ready to work skills. We awarded national certificates and those things. So that was a passion of mine, and I wanted to be able to help veterans because I'm a veteran myself, because
Me
I knew
too.
how hard it was. All right, I didn't even know that. Come on now. So I wanted to be able to provide veterans with ways of getting employment, and I still help people with that. But the thing was, me and my partner, we ended up, she's in Washington, I was in Georgia. I ended up doing it all by myself. I was like, oh Lord, I can't do all this. I can't do all this. So I had to revamp everything, right? And I decided to go into, this new industry, which I really could tie them together, honestly, because a lot
Yes.
of veterans go into business for themselves, right? And so, I wanted to really focus more on small businesses getting started and doing those initial things for them. But people kept contacting me. But I heard that you do grants. I want to know about grants. Come on with the grants. I was like, oh God, please, Jesus, help me. So I was like, people don't understand though, Sharon, the work that goes into it. It is so much research. There is more research and finding statistics and getting data and helping people develop their story really to, put it in an outline, more so, getting all that information to put in there than it is applying and looking for the grants because they're everywhere. It's just you have to match up and make sure that what you're doing matches whatever the organization or foundation that you want to get the funding from is doing. So
Oh,
y'all want to do like a marriage. You know what I'm
okay,
saying?
Miss Anita.
Yes.
So, in emerging E
Yes.
for electronic. What does the E stand for? Is it electronic
It is not, however,
enterprise?
we're so much into the digital age, right? And all these things are done online. So, the E was kind of like getting into that digital age where everything,
Okay.
emails and all this other stuff. So we just kind of put a little twist on it and put that E dash merging in there because that's how that came to be.
And it's very fitting, especially in the climate that we're in right now, because we could be anywhere at any time right now. We don't have to drive across town unless we need to do some hands on. You and I are now meeting in the metaverse or wherever the heck we are.
Right.
Um, what kind of services do you provide? Like a lineup of the starting point and the different, if you have like a la carte, do you have packages? How are your services broken down?
I'm glad you asked that. We actually offer some of all of those, right? I have packages where, my clients, if they want me to, they want to have me on retainer, right? That's how I'm here in North Carolina right now. I'm working with one of my clients that, has me on retainer. So they can put me on retainer and decide, like you said, a la carte, what all they need to developed or done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm right now helping with some HR things, development right now, as well as acting as a communication director, making sure all the PR stuff is done. But that's just, that's some of the side stuff. I do all of that stuff, right? Because that's
You
my
do.
background. That's my background is communications. So that's what I do, right? So, I have the retainer package. If someone just have a few things they need me to do, I can do hourly rates. If you just want me to do some research, you already have, your outline for your grant, maybe your template, and maybe you just don't know where to look for grants at, or maybe you don't
Mm, mm.
you just want somebody to look you up some grants and you'll apply for it yourself. Okay, we can do that too. Or if you want us to do all of it, right? You want us to make up your story. We got to do the grant templates, get all that good stuff. Then we got to do the matching up. Then we got to do the submissions. We'll do it all if that's what you need us to do.
You are definitely a one-stop shop. You have similar services as I do.
Yeah.
But now I know if a client comes to me and say, because they always want to follow the money, which is fine when you're in business. You want to make some
Yeah.
revenue,
Yeah.
and grant writing research is not my forte. So
Mhm.
it's easy to just say, see Anita and have her do it. So, what do you find are like when looking for a grant? What do you find for you and for small businesses the biggest challenge to be?
Well, being that, I work with right now more small, or either they've just starting out, or they're kind of new, they've had their nonprofit maybe for a while, or maybe their business for a while, and they're just kind of stuck. They're like, I haven't established, I got it, I got my paperwork, I'm legal. Now what?
Right.
Like, now what I do, I need some money, what I do, and unfortunately, I can say for, banks, I'm not in that field much, but I have a little knowledge when it comes to, bank, when it comes to loans and things of that nature.
Yes,
Unfortunately, banks and those lending institutions, they don't give money to people that need money. They give money to people that already have money.
you got that right. Say,
Yeah, you know
say,
how to,
say that one more time.
they don't give you money if you need it, baby. You got to already have it together before they give it to you. It seems like it's backwards, but they have a method to their madness, and they want people that know how to leverage. So
Yes.
if you know how to leverage, and you got your stuff in order, you probably, you want to look at maybe getting some loans and stuff of that nature. But one of the things, being that I'm talking about that, one of the things that I have found for, and I'm getting off, but I'm gonna answer your question about where to, the issues about applying and getting grants. One of the things though that I found that a lot of these, smaller organizations have, they don't have a sustainability plan, right?
Mm.
What does that mean? Basically, how are you going to sustain? How are you going to keep your doors open? How are you going to keep your programs running? All of those things. And the first thing sometimes comes to mind is let me get some grants. I need some free money. I don't want to have to pay it back. But the thing is, you got to be structured. You got to have all your stuff together first. So what I have found is people want the money, of course, but they're not ready to apply. So we have to go back. I end up spending more time over in the first two phases, or the first phase, which is, getting, like I said, getting and creating that grant template, getting all their numbers together. What is your target population? What are the demographics of them? Do you know everything you need to know about them? Because that's where some of that research comes in. So knowing your target population or your ideal client, like the back of your hand, You got to know that stuff. You got to have your sustainability plan. You got to have your operating budget and your project budget, because they definitely gonna ask you how. They want to
How
know.
you going to spend this money?
Right. They want to know that. Most 9 times out of 10, they're gonna be like, okay, so we're gonna give you this 25K, but what you gonna do with it? So, people want to say, oh, okay, so I need 10, I need 10,000 for equipment. So that's 10,000 equipment. Okay, I need a new truck, or I need, so 15,000. Okay, but you got to break that down. They don't want just, you got to make an itemized budget, baby.
Yes,
You talking about
line items, honey.
line
Line
items. Okay, you
items.
talking about office equipment, 5,000. Okay, how much them desks cost? How much them computers cost? How much them chairs cost? How much all that? How much that software costs? People tend to forget about stuff like that. So you got to develop all of that stuff because they want it, and you need to have it ready. And that's what I tell people: do that part first. Don't find a grant, then you try to do the background work. Do your work now.
I
And
tell everybody you have to have the foundation. People, there are rare occasions when I see grants for people who are in the idea phase of a startup. They are rare and far between.
yes, ma'am.
And so, you have to get them ready with their registration, their EIN. Sometimes they just come to you, I got an idea,
Right.
I need a grant. And so then you have to step in, Miss Anita, and say, did you do steps 1 through 10 first?
Yes, exactly.
Before you can even research what kind of grant is available for them.
Exactly. Exactly. So you already know. You
Oh,
already
we in
know.
the same business.
Exactly. So
But
you know the
I'm
stuff.
more familiar with going to the bank than I
Right.
am with the grants. But I'm learning. One thing I
Good.
can say about you and other entrepreneurs, we learn from each other, we
Yes.
share information, and
Yes.
we are here to
Come with
lift
it.
each other up and come on
Yeah.
up with this. I want to
Exactly.
I want to speak to you about veterans, because now that you told me you are a vet, have you seen availability for grants maybe specifically geared towards vets, and how does that space look like?
I have seen some. Now they come in different ways. It can be. I've seen some that are for veterans that have businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Seen grants for veterans that just need services. Let's say they need, accessibility in their home. So this particular grant is to provide accessibility, maybe build a ramp,
Mm-hmm.
whatever their accessibility need may be. So there's different types I have come across that service and, provide funding for veterans. Definitely, yes, ma'am.
That is a wonderful thing. And I always in my mind think there should be more advocacy for veterans, as
Mhm.
well as women and minorities. But that's a
I'm on it,
whole nother day.
ain't
So
it?
any last remarks you'd like to share with our community? And also please give us your contact information.
Yes, ma'am. I just say that, like I was sharing earlier, there are all sorts of grants out there. There's even grants for individuals. You don't have to have a business. You don't have to have or a nonprofit structure. It's just knowing, what to have prepared. Like I said, having those documents prepared, having your idea, on paper, having a business plan. I've seen you all do that. People need business plans. You know what I'm saying? You can get most of the information that you need should come from your business plan if you're a small
You
business.
got
Yes, ma'am.
bravo.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And just learning as much as you can about the people you serve. That's the main thing. Get input from them. Find out, because a lot of times we'll think, oh, we know what they need, but until you actually do your own research, and I tell, my clients and people all the time, do your own research. Don't always rely on, what you find on the internet. Actually talk to your constituents. Find out
Yes.
what they really say they need or want, and provide that and give that to them. and you can, implement that and put that in your narrative. And what you're finding in your community might be unique to another community. So just find out what your ideal client wants and needs, and do interviews, do surveys, you know what I'm saying? And you can include that in your data that you found when you write these grants. I found that out of my 100 people that I talked to, 65 of them said that this is the actual problems and issues that are having, and that's what my business or that's what my organization provides. So just being able to do those things, that's some key things, just right there to be able to start with.
You know what? That is some sage advice, because even outside of the grant arena, that is things that I think and I suggest business owners need to know on the onset of starting their business. Who is your competition? Who are you going to be servicing? And people who don't understand how all these little pieces fit together. Your investor's going to want to know this information. The banks are want to know this information. You need to be grant ready. And if you follow the steps that have been set before us, as people, entrepreneurs have come up, this stuff we didn't just make this stuff up.
No, we didn't.
It is a blueprint for how to be successful. And grant readiness.
Yes.
Even though people think of it as free money, it's really a learning process for the business to be their own business, and to see what it's like on the outside. And you need to know these things to become successful.
So true. And I'm glad you said that, because that's one of my main things. I brought a team together that do a lot more of the hands-on stuff, so I won't have to do so much of it, because my thing is in educating. I want to educate businesses, and I want to educate, whether they're a nonprofit or a for-profit business. I want them to know, look, even if you want somebody else to do all the work for you, understand the process yourself.
Right.
So that if you can't afford to pay us, because we needs to get paid. Hello, we ain't doing this stuff for free. Okay. So if you want to do it yourself, you can do it yourself. So learn the process, learn the things that are required of you, so that whichever way you decide to go, okay, but I understand the process, and I know why they're asking for this documentation. I understand now why I need to do this process, because it makes sense now, because I can see it, I know it now, and now I'm able to execute it. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I people like us just compliment each other. You know what I'm saying? From the people you work with, and then if they want to come to my side and need assistance with that stuff, as far as grant readiness, we are here to provide that. And that's why I've created some digital things that they can do on their own if they like to just learn more about the process. I have some of those things in line. We just got through, you and I were just talking about my summit I just got finished with.
Yes.
All of these experts, oh my God, they blew my mind. I was like, I don't even want to teach nothing. I just want to sit in y'all's workshop. You know what I'm saying? From Miss Yvonne to, she was talking about nonprofits and small businesses structure, to I had someone talking about, financial literacy, because that's where it starts. Because people, talking about banks and stuff, they want to know how you handle your own money. If you can't handle money, how you gonna handle theirs?
If you got a negative credit score.
You know what I'm saying? So it starts there. You got to start at home. How are you handling your own money? Right. So we had that. We had somebody that was there that was providing, financial options for small business, whether that's lines of credit, loans. I had a tax person there. So, we're going to be selling that. And they can get all of that. I'll be, advertising that real soon.
Okay, good.
All that good, information that we got in one spot in one day. It was awesome.
Look, emerging.
There it is. Yes, and like I said, we work with our clients to either educate them and or do the services for them. So ways of contacting me is you can go to my website, which is www.AnitaNthebizCoach.com. And if you can see, y'all can see that right there. That's Anita and the Biz Coach. That's me.
Yes, ma'am. We see that.
Coach.com. And then my email is info at AnitaNthebizCoach.com. So it's pretty easy to remember. I try to keep it kind of simple so people can know
Yes.
where to reach and find us. So those are the best ways. And of course, on social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. Check out my videos. I do videos on how to apply for grants, grant funding, all that stuff. They want to get on my
Make
email.
sure you like, share, and
Yeah.
subscribe.
Hey. Yes, follow me, like me, all that stuff. And make sure you're getting all that good information we putting out on how to apply for grants and grants to apply for.
I appreciate you and thank you so much for taking the time to
Yeah.
spend with us at the BVD Center.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for some collaborations
Yeah.
upcoming for us. And you are such a joy and a gift and a pleasure.
Oh.
And we will see you on the other side.
Yes, ma'am. See you on the other side, baby.
Like, share, and subscribe.